There are few products that have a worse reputation than YouTuber products. The only ones that even compete with that kind of awful reputation are maybe Ubisoft products and Concord. And it's not for no reason. For years, there have been numerous examples of content creators releasing overpriced urinal cakes that get peddled to their audience that are made so cheap that even Temu bootleg products blush. It's a reputation that's developed over the course of many years, and it's reached the point where most people, if you hear a YouTuber is releasing a product, it's a big scoff and an assumption that it's going to be dog shit and a cash grab. It's super easy to see why this reputation exists, because it just keeps happening over and over again, like with Mr. Beast, for example. So I totally understand it. I get it. I've released a few products over the years, and it's things that I'm personally very passionate about, and I want to deliver something high quality and amazing, not just as a YouTuber product, but as a product on its own two legs, like most notably the comic book series Godslap, which I've been working on for years with some very talented people to bring it to life and make really cool things with it, and Plague Seeker, and just a ton of different things that I've worked on for a while, and I want to be good, especially in a sea of like terrible YouTuber shit that comes out. All of this to say, there's been another project that I've been working on passionately for the last year and a half or so. I've talked about it only like once or twice on stream. It's soap. But it's not just like some white labeled product that we're now peddling for a crazy markup. It's not some low quality, cheap dog shit soap. It's high quality, all natural bar soap called Cheeky. And it was actually a product I never intended on releasing to people. It was a product I made for myself, with my friends. I've mentioned this before on stream. I have psoriasis. Psoriasis is basically just extremely dry skin. Dry, scaly skin. Which I recognize is ironic because my name in a lot of places online is Moist Critical. But I, Charles, have skin that's so dry it makes a Burger King Whopper seem moist, like it's medium rare. Which actually answers a question a lot of people have asked me for years. How is my skin so smooth? What's my skincare routine? Why don't I get very many breakouts or zits? What's the secret? Well, the secret is my face is like Arrakis from Dune. It is just so dry. It is like the environment is not conducive to zits. It'd be like an oak tree trying to grow in the desert. It's too hostile. It's not happening. So I've had this for a long time, and then one night on stream, Chat and I got talking about hygiene for whatever reason, just yapping, and someone in chat had mentioned that body wash dries your skin out, because I had mentioned that I use body wash. I think at the time I was using Old Spice body wash. And someone said that body wash is known to dry your skin out. Hadn't really heard much about that before, so after stream I looked it up, and there's a lot of research to suggest that, yeah, it does do that. So pretty much the next day, I went out and switched to bar soap. So I tried a lot of different bar soaps. I tried like the really cheap ones from Walmart, like the $2 Dove bars. That was disastrous for me. That was a catastrophe. Had me looking like SpongeBob when he goes into Sandy's dome for the first time without his water helmet on. I hated that. I tried a couple of the more bougie bar soap brands that are on the more expensive end. Didn't fall in love with any of those either. And then I tried all natural bar soaps, so some of the big boys in all natural bars. And I was really liking the way those were making me feel. I was feeling much better after showers. I wasn't nearly as itchy or as dry. The big problem I had with it over time is I just really didn't like the way it was making me smell. I just didn't like the fragrances. Half the catalog was things like Mahogany Woodman, Lumberjack Musk, Grease Bourbon Carburetor Mist, fucking nails, rusty nails. I just got so fed up with it over time, I just got really tired of stepping out of the shower smelling like a fucking leather shoe or whatever. So I eventually started talking to Matt about it. He shared a similar sentiment and we started ideating and then brought in another friend of ours, Shane. Shane is our really smart friend. And he really helped spearhead this dream into making it a reality, whom is far more knowledgeable on stuff like this than we are, and we eventually concluded there's not really anything else like that, so we're gonna have to make it ourselves. Which then led us to the big eureka moment of, if we're making it ourselves, why not just double down on moisturizer content, like up the amount of moisturizing ingredients we put in there. Which is exactly what we did. So using a similar process to Dr. Squatch and changing the formula around to make it more moisturizing so it hydrates my skin better. So we added more jojoba oil, shea butter, and really just went hog wild with trying to make the perfect bar of soap for me, and by extension, Matt and Shane, who also both shared in the dream of the holy grail of soap that's both very moisturizing as well as smells great. So we worked with some experts, teamed up with a manufacturer that could make this soap in meaningful quantities for all of us to use, and I really think we were successful in this quest. For the last year or so, it's been the only soap I've used, as well as all my friends and family, because we've just been giving it out to friends and family to use in case they want it. And they've all loved it and keep asking for more soap from us. So we eventually just decided, fuck it, we'll go ahead and just make it available for anyone to buy. So we called it Cheeky, and it's available right now to purchase at usecheeky.com. I'll have a link to it in the description. We've matched the Dr. Squatch price of $7 a bar, and right now it's the starter pack, which is 4 bars for $28. It's the 3 fragrances we've all been using for the last year, and then a little bonus, which is a Charlie and the Chocolate Factory inspired Charlie and the Soap Factory, which is our first soap we made, which doesn't have a fragrance, it's just soap smell. It's like how you imagine soap would smell from a fucking cartoon. But the 3 actual fragrances are lavender, citrus, and a tea tree, and they are fucking extraordinary. The bars are made with all natural ingredients, and I am so proud of what we've been able to make. My personal favorite bar is the lavender. This is how it's looked for the last year, just these little almost drug baggies of soap. And now, since we've decided to make it available for everyone, we upgraded so it's like actual packaging. So this is the Cheeky starter kit where you get the 4 different fragrances in there. So it's Lo-Fi Lavender, Touch Grass, which is the tea tree, and Pulp Francis, which is the citrus. And then the Soap Factory one, which is just normal soap smell. But it's the same thing. It's the same extremely high quality bar that we've been using for the last year from the bags. And hopefully you all enjoy it as well. Now, of course, it hasn't cured my psoriasis or anything like that, but I just feel so much better coming out of the shower after using Cheeky for the last year. It has blown everything else I've ever used out of the water, so hopefully you all have a similar experience with it and enjoy it. Now, I thought it'd be fun to show you some footage of the soap making process because we do a bit of R&D at the warehouse where we make soaps to test for different colors and different fragrances to see what looks and smells best, and we get really experimental with it. Now, the soap you're about to see be born is lavender. It's a soap we've already made. This is just a demonstration just to kind of showcase the process a little bit and have some fun. Also, you're about to see that soap making isn't the most complicated process in the world. It's very straightforward, which is why there's actually a huge community of people who just make their own soap at home. It doesn't require super expensive heavy machinery or super expensive materials in order to make a bar of soap. So a lot of people just make soap at home because you can get a lot of what you need. Well, you can get everything that you need from just going out to local stores for it. Hey, we're here in the R&D department, our little home laboratory where we test out flavors and, well, flavors is definitely the wrong word, fragrances and just different ideas for upcoming soaps. And we've got the lead engineer, chemist, superstar.
So we're making a lavender soap, essentially, and for context, this isn't everything that is in our lavender product because we've already kind of developed the whole formula and there's like multiple things in there, and when we're trying to make different colors and fragrances and stuff, we don't need the whole formula in order to try this stuff out, essentially. So this isn't like 100% our bar, but this is kind of how we do it when we're trying out new things. And so we're gonna make, basically we're gonna go through the process of combining the oils, throwing in some color and some fragrance, mixing it all up, and yeah, making some soap. So basically the first step here is to start with this. We're gonna put everything in the big boy here. And so grab the spatula and
what's in the big boy, Shane?
Oh, the big boy is some olive oil. Oh. And so this is a very simple soap, which is olive oil and coconut oil, essentially. And so, yeah, so you're gonna pour that in. You can just toss it in and then—
oh, you're spilling.
Add in the fragrance, which is that. So this is lavender fragrance. This is actually something that, like—
Can we smell the concentrate before we put it in? Here, you guys smell that?
Yeah. Take a whiff.
Oh,
it smells really good.
Let me take
a sniff. Oh wait, sorry, we're in a lab.
Here she comes.
Yeah, with that, essentially now we're gonna take the colorant, which is the purple.
And what is the colorant?
So this colorant is a mica, but which is like, there's different naturally occurring colorants that people use, and so we try to use like all natural colorants. This isn't exactly what we put in our bars, but this is just like a way to like test different shades, and then if we use something to test a different shade, then we might actually try to get a natural colorant made of that reproduces that essentially. And so, yeah, this is like a mica sulfate glittery. It is a natural, naturally occurring thing, but you could dump that in, and then, yeah.
Beautiful.
Beautiful. All right, last step, we've got oils in here, we've got fragrance and colorants. We have to actually add the lye, and so this is kind of the thing that you want to be very careful.
This is the dangerous part.
This is the matte part.
This is the
Yep. Every video ever, Matt does the dangerous
All right,
part.
so
My life
basically,
is worth less.
you're gonna unseal this.
Oh, wow. That's
Yeah.
lying.
And so this is why we have gloves and long sleeves and goggles on, because lye is like not good for you to touch or consume. And so this is also another important point about soap is basically that like this is how you make real soap. A lot of the soap that you see in grocery stores, like even bar soap or body wash, they're like chemical detergents because they're not real soap. Like soap is a technical term for what happens when it's saponification. You combine lye and oils and you get soap. And
You are way too smart for anything on this channel. That's
okay,
what's
well,
going
I'm
on.
sorry. I'm just saying that's why it's much better than your in-store body wash, essentially. And so, yeah, now we can put that back on.
Danny,
We do smart shit on this channel all the time.
remember that time we
Remember that
made French
Colombian
fries?
food tier
Yeah.
list we just did? That was a really smart one, right, guys?
Ask me what borders Colombia. I know now.
What word is
All right.
Colombia?
I'm
Brazil.
gonna guess I put this on low.
And yeah,
We also don't make it all here
Yeah,
because
well, this is-
that
because-
wouldn't get very far.
yeah.
Because I work 20 feet that way, and that would be a disaster.
Yeah, we have a real facility that actually is, not.
This.
I don't see what your problem is.
It's a lot cleaner than this.
This is
you
a good
could
work
say.
environment.
Yeah,
there's
it's
only-
a great work environment. I'm inspired every day by my environment.
Okay, so I'm just like leaning over here, and this smells so good.
Doesn't it?
Don't tell all the people that's a work in progress.
Yeah, that's Baja Blast.
Detergents or body washes typically will leave your skin dry and itchy because they try to recreate this, but they don't often succeed, essentially.
Is there a reason why? Like, why would they choose not to?
And so the reason why is because, as you can see, this is very time consuming. So the soap isn't like, you can't make this soap and have it be like 50 cents, like a bar of Dove soap, because you need someone actually making the soap and you want to pay them a livable wage, essentially, And so it's a lot more time consuming. And so in order to save on cost, they're like, hey, how do we make this using synthetic ingredients where we can use a big machine that just spits out little bars essentially over and over again, or just make a big vat of liquid. And so, yeah, essentially it is a cost-saving move for them, but it results in a worse product. And so we're doing it the old-fashioned way, basically. And you can see Matt trying to, massage this down here.
One thing I know about Matt is that he's good at massaging.
I massage the shit out of things.
And then it cures for how long?
So yeah, this will it'll basically harden over the next like 24 to 48 hours, depending obviously on what's in it. And then it has to cure. You cut it and let it sit and cure. That's what those bars were doing, essentially. And it cures for really like 48 to 72 hours to get all the lye out. So that's like the first step is after it sits for up to 3 days, you get all the lye out and then it's safe to use. But then we let our soap sit for longer to let it kind of get the moisture out. And so as it dries out, you end up getting like a more solid bar. And then when you're using it in the shower, combining water with like a dryer bar, it lasts longer. And so there's so many different ways you can go about it, but we typically, take it out, let it sit, get the lye out, and then we let it sit for like 3 weeks or so to dry out. So yeah, it's a very time consuming and long process.
When Shane was working on this bar, I think you were out of town and I came back here and it was in there and I was like, I can pull it out and cut it if you want. And he was like, you'll burn the shit out of your hands. Don't touch that. I was like, okay, I won't go into the soap lab anymore.
So this doesn't, as Shane mentioned, this doesn't have like most of what our bars do, like so all the moisturizing agents like the jojoba oil, shea and all that. This is purely just to be trying out fragrances and everything to see if we like the color, if we like how it smells, and then after that it goes to like the actual big manufacturing plant with all of the moisturizing agents and the rest of the ingredients.
Yeah, so this isn't a representation of what you would get if you were to go to ushiki.com and order some soap.
And
this
you don't
is
have
just
to worry. I and Charlie did not touch your soap.
But we can if you want us to. Anyway, I just thought this was fun footage to showcase a little bit of our soap making R&D process, testing the fragrances and colorants. But yeah, Cheeky's available right now. Use cheeky.com for the starter kit of our 4 fragrances. And yeah, I'm just super happy with all of it. Again, this wasn't a product that was made as a how can we sell something idea. It was how can we make the perfect bar of soap for us to use. And then after giving it to friends and family over time, we just thought there's probably a lot of other people that would appreciate a really good bar of soap. So now Cheeky's here, and hopefully you all really like it. That's about it. See ya.